and welcome to another episode of the 2021 Opal Special Awards program. The Special Award nominees were exclusively chosen by our judges. In this presentation, we will announce the winner in social impact. Opal support and identify design firms that are making a positive impact on people's lives through the use of design and architecture, resulting in raising living standards and improving local communities. So, without further ado, we announce the winner, the 2021 Opal Special Award in Social Impact.
The 2021 Opal Special Award for Social Impact, Sharon Davis Design.
I am an architect and an Opal jury member, and it's my honor today to award the 2021 Opal Award for Social Impact to Sharon Davis Design. So Sharon, we are very pleased to have you as an award taker, and we're very happy to have a woman in our awards. And I'm very pleased to give you this award.
Yasmin, I'm very honored to receive the Opal Special Award in Social Impact. And I'd like to thank the Opal jury panel for selecting us. And I thank my team and my collaborators who play such a huge part in all the projects that I make happen.
Okay, thank you so much. And let me ask you a few questions, which we always do. So, social impact is a very important sector and is not really considered enough in architecture. So what took you on your road map to this very specific area of interest? How did you start to get really interested in that aspect of integrating social impact with architecture?
Well, my very first built project is the project I did in Rwanda for the Women's Opportunity Center. It was a project I was introduced to through a friend, and at that point my interest was really in sustainability. So it was a leap of faith for me and for the client to go to Africa to meet the women there, and I think that the experience of having the opportunity to do that project is really what changed my outlook on what I wanted to do with architecture. I had not only being in a completely different environment where there really was social need for space, but also a group of women who were already working together as students that I could interact with. I could learn about their life stories, and then I wanted the women to do a lot of the construction work as a vocational job. So the idea of working with local materials and as part of sustainability became a big part of my work. And honestly, that project was so fulfilling to me personally that it just kept me on that path from there on.
Oh, amazing. I can see that you're very passionate about that field in architecture, and would be interesting if you could name just a few projects. I know, probably you're in love with a lot of your projects, as we all are, but what would be like some highlights that you would like to talk about?
Well, I'd also love to talk about the hospital in Nepal that we did. It's a very remote location. It's the only medical center in the entire region on the far western corner between Tibet and India. Women there walk 7 days in order to deliver their children there to have safe maternal care. So it's quite an important social and health center for the people that are there. And we had to keep the hospital open and running the entire time that we were working. So the logistics of it were quite immense. And then it had to be completely off the grid. So thinking about water, thinking about solar was also really critical. And then in that project, we used rammed earth because we also couldn't do heating or cooling. And the temperature change in the mountains went from about 30 degrees Fahrenheit in the winter to over 110 in the summer. So having that thermal mass made a big difference. So getting to know the people there, feeling like I was helping that community and getting the experience of working with those local materials, sort of developing my repertoire of local materials, in addition to the overall experience of working on a hospital, it was challenging and very exciting and very rewarding.
Well, I assume that helping these communities will give you a lot of satisfaction to not just do beautiful aesthetically designed buildings, but to change lives, you know, to the better. And I mean, how is the community reacting to that? I mean, they must be so grateful for having someone going beyond just, you know, the vision of architecture and kind of self-fulfilling to go much deeper into the subject.
You know, I had a dinner in New York when we finished everything, which was right before COVID. The very last thing I did before COVID was have a dinner of about 12 people in New York who had all been part of the project at the hospital in one way or another. And the doctor who was head of the department at Mount Sinai, that was our collaborator, came to the dinner, and he stood up at the beginning of the dinner and he said, I really had no idea why we needed to have an architect help us with this building when we started. And I kept thinking it was such a distraction from actually helping the people. But when it was all finished and I looked around and I saw what a difference it made in the quality of people's lives, just understanding where they were going, having a place of shelter to wait in, feeling that they were being respected, that they had dignity, that it made such a huge difference in their lives. And it was really wonderful to hear that from someone outside of the profession, who didn't necessarily have that understanding going in. So I wish I had videotaped or recorded him saying that.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. And it's very often, I think, you know, every building should have an architect, and it doesn't matter what is the use. It should be, you know, there would be much more better projects and better life in the world if we would have that. And not just technical drawers who do a lot of buildings that, you know, are very, they don't have emotions or any soul. So I can understand that. So what are your plans for the future? I mean, is there any exciting project coming up that you can talk about?
Well, I'm doing some more projects in Nepal. One is with an orphanage, and another is a hospital for children, which there are not any right now in Nepal. But what I've just finished doing is a schematic design for a project in the States, which I'm really excited about because it's my first project in the States, but it's also for a community that really needs attention, and that is the Lakota people in North Dakota, and it's a housing unit for a housing complex for a family, an extended family in the Lakota area. They're now living in mobile homes, most of which have mold or have been flooded, et cetera. And they're willing and interested in actually making their own earth bricks. And they already have solar panel manufacturing that they do there. So I think it's a wonderful collaboration in a way for me to bring the skills that I've developed to the US, where there's a lot of need in this country and in this region, as well as everywhere else in the world.
No, I agree, absolutely. And is this going to be subsidized partly by the government, or is it all self-funded projects?
At the moment, it's all self-funded, but it would be nice to have some government funding.
Yeah, I think hopefully somebody from the government will listen to this.
That would be wonderful.
So my last question is, what is the impact you like to have, you know, let's say in your lifetime, in the next years to come, I mean, in the world, but also, you know, specifically in architecture?
You know, the world is changing so much, and it's so hard to imagine what the next 10 years will look like. But I hope bringing social impact to communities, and also bringing local materials to more communities. I've started working on a competition right now where we're trying to bring rammed earth to an office building in Geneva, which would be earth from the site. So we'll see how we do on that. But yeah, continuing to work with sustainability and passive systems, but including local materials as part of that.
No, I love that, because I I'm myself very into sustainability and local materials and local production. And I think we all over the world should think the same way and really change the world of construction in a massive way. Well, thank you so much. It was really a pleasure to talk to you, and I'm very pleased that you received the award. And I hope we will see some more exciting projects in the future. I'm sure about that. And good luck on, I know you're doing a competition. Good luck on it, and all the best.
Thank you, Yasmin. It was a pleasure talking to you. And thank you so much for the award.